Welcome to the Scooby Doo files. Recently, we had received an anonymous letter at our offices. The letter claimed to have been written by Pietro, also known as the Puppet Master, a criminal who had been caught by Mystery Inc. and had been serving a sentence in prison for counterfeiting money. We cannot confirm or deny that this letter was actually written by Pietro, but reading the contents of it, we did find it to have enough validity to make a case file about it. Warning, the contents of this letter might be disturbing for some viewers. In order to demonstrate the letter, we have recreated it in an audible form. We've also had our local in-house sketch artists create drawings to demonstrate the contents of the letter. So without further ado, this is the Puppet Master. They called me the Puppet Master. The newspapers, the cops, children. They made me out to be a monster, hiding behind strings and shadows. But every crime has a reason. And every monster starts out as a man. I've often heard that crime is an act of greed, but for me, it started with art. Yes, art. I was a puppeteer once. My father, he was a puppeteer, he taught me. All I dreamed about when I was young was one day growing up and making him proud. I spent many hours honing my craft, becoming more in tune with the connection between the artist and the movement of the art. And the audience, of course, but the audience isn't always on your side. I was the kind of man who could make wood and cloth dance. Crowds used to clap for me, you know. Kids, they liked me. But applause fades. My theater went dark, you see. My shows, they stopped selling. And the world doesn't have much use for a man who makes dolls dance. So, I had to find something else. It started very small, really. A few counterfeit bills hidden behind a curtain, a puppet show by day, a printing press by night. No one looked twice at the man with marionettes. It was the perfect disguise. It was a perfect disguise until I met them. A gangly boy, a redhead, some nerdy girl, a pretty girl, and a dog. Always sniffing where they don't belong, don't they? They came upon my stage like it was a game. They saw the strings, but not the man behind them. To them, it was just another mystery. To me, it became survival. Every move I made, every puppet I pulled, I thought I was in control. But you can't pull strings on fate. I tried to scare them off. A puppet dog, use a few shadows. I thought that would do it. This would be fine. Certainly these teenagers would get scared. Certainly they would be challenged by the things they're seeing. But nothing worked. They kept investigating. That mutt, Scooby Doo, he tore through my act like a bad review. And when they pulled back the curtain on me, they found the truth. The puppets, the money, me. And here's the funny thing about puppets. You pull the strings too tight and they break. And that's what happened to me. My art became crime. My stage now becomes a cell. You call me a monster, but I was a man that was just trying to keep his art and show going. I mean, who are you to judge me? but I can't escape my own strings. I was arrested and charged with counterfeiting. They seized my puppets as evidence. Everything was dismantled. And I saw in the newspapers that Mystery Inc., the Scooby Doo gang, solved the case. Now, all I am is a cautionary tale. That behind everyone there's a story, and behind every string is a choice. The choices we make dictate the course of our lives. And I don't know what mistake I made to be stopped by them. But it wasn't a life sentence. I won't be here forever. One day I will get out of here, and I will find them. And then, I, once again, will control the strings. After receiving the letter and doing this case file, our team looked into the criminal record of Pietro. Apparently, he is no longer in prison and was released early on good behavior. His current whereabouts are unknown. Disturbingly, a few days after receiving this letter, a box showed up on the front doorstep of our offices. It was unmarked and had no return to sender. We brought the box inside and opened it with caution. It was a puppet, clearly homemade. We don't want to assume the worst, and that this was sent by the puppet master. But if it was, that means he knows what we're doing, and he's watching. We're keeping the puppet in a storage unit for documentation. We've tried to reach out to former members of Mystery Inc. and asked if they've received any packages or letters like this. None of them would comment. If you have any information on this case, or if you've seen the puppet master, Pietro, in public, please write in, call, or send any information to us at the Scooby Doo Files. Until next time, please like, comment, and subscribe.